All right, we're here. We're launching our new podcast, Minding Our Business. I am Jess. I am a realtor investor. Me and my husband are a real estate team. I've met Dan through not real estate networking. Fuck.
Business networking.
I met Dan through business networking. We've had plenty of conversations, especially around business, mental health, wellness, and we kind of decided to join up. And Dan, tell them about you.
It happened just like that. We just met and we're like, we should definitely do a podcast about entrepreneurship and mental wellness. Now, there's a few more steps in between, but we'll get to that. My name's Dan. Pretty much everybody calls me Jonesy because Dan Jones is the most unmemorable name on the planet, which is why I wear memorable shirts. I am a marketing strategist and run a marketing agency. And the reason I'm passionate about mental health is not only, do I have depression and anxiety in my history as well. After talking with Jess a few times, we found out very quickly that mental health affects our businesses, affects our clients, both positively and negatively. Positively when it's leveraged. Negatively, of course, because if we can't take care of ourselves, if we're not well ourselves, then our business does suffer for it. That was through a few conversations with business networking, mostly because we saw a couple of emerging patterns with being on and being off, and just the pressures of not only, we can wax philosophical about the pressures of society these days, but the often not talked about
battle behind the scenes
of running a business and entrepreneurship.
We only see the good stuff on social media and we're sharing everyone's doing great. But I can agree that behind every successful season of our business, there was like a private mental health journey that I was going through. Some days I was straight thriving and other days I was literally surviving. So really without my husband, who's the calm in my chaos and the sunshine in my spiral, kind of without him, our business would have crashed when I was going through a pretty bad depression. Mm-hmm. And especially when there's nothing going on in your life that's wrong. I have an amazing life, amazing business, amazing husband, amazing kids, and to still be struggling, it doesn't make any sense.
That's what's really annoying about mental health, anxiety, and depression, folks, is when seemingly there's nothing external that you would look at and qualify as bad or blowing up or wrong. It can still, and has, and does, and will again creep up and just shut you down, shut me down, shut you down. So that's what we're here to deal with, is sharing our stories, getting a little vulnerable on, even though we are successful entrepreneurs, it's not all sunshine and unicorns vomiting rainbows.
Sometimes I do vomit rainbows, though.
We're going to dig in a little bit more to that because the versions you're seeing us right now, we're doing okay. We're doing well. We're crushing it. That's such the type.
But we're not.
Anyway, we're not.
I won't speak for you, but I'm not doing well without putting in work. Mm-hmm. I have to do things daily. I have to keep to my routine to keep myself going. Every morning I have to go to the gym. Mm-hmm. I have to do something for myself, which is something I didn't always do. No one realizes that taking care of yourself first is what needs to happen. When I ended up talking with my real estate coach, it was November 14th, because I won't forget the day. I was just struggling and I went into our office and I was like, I'm not coachable right now because I don't like myself. I cannot go out to people and convince them that I'm the greatest person for the job when in my mind, I wasn't believing that. I wasn't enough. Everybody else was better. You were making comparisons. So it's tough.
Yeah, that's that inner voice, the inner demon trying to shut us down, even when you're in a position where, okay, you sought out coaching in the professional development context. Mm-hmm. That's awesome. And you even were at a point then where you decided, I'm not coachable today, which is almost like another level of this self-awareness, which to a degree, I feel like I'm there now. But so that allows us to deal with things in real time. And then you touched on the proactivity you're taking for self-care. And that's what I've really discovered is mental health and self-care. It falls into those two categories.
There's no productivity hack.
No, there's not.
Your business is going to, my personal growth is growing my business. If I was depressed and like just online trying to grow my business and post on social media, when I was feeling bad, I'll use depressed. I felt like I was doing busy work.
Okay.
I felt like I was just like doing busy work, wasting time, like so unfocused. Honestly, I don't think I knew who I was or like what identity I had. I'm like all over the place sometimes. It's like, what am I supposed to do? But I think this journey that I went through, especially with my mental health and business, has like put me in this position. Is that I think that my story will really resonate with people that think that I have it all together. Because people do. They're like, you're so positive. I'm like, thank you. But I also just spent time doing a, pretty intense mental health program in order to get there, which I learned so much about myself. And I'll eventually share that journey because I think it's important, because it opened my eyes to how many people struggle, and it's people from all different backgrounds. It's people who come from a good life. It's people who came from a bad life. It's people that are born with bipolar or they're borderline. And it's everyone, all ages, women, men. It trickles down to kids. Like my daughter, I hate saying it, like has anxiety going to camp without me. So I'm navigating that as a parent now to try and make sure that we're growing up with an emotional intelligence.
Right. And so you're talking about now personal life and how that impacts everything.
Yeah.
Okay. So on top of running a business and having the expectations for clients, for employees, if you have them, for team members, for colleagues, is, the life on the outside, which is what we should be working for to begin with.
Yep.
So you very expertly titled this episode, Mindset is the Blueprint. And so let's talk about that, because mindset is one of those topics that comes up in entrepreneurship about, just be positive, just do this and this will happen. Cool. When it's flowing, fine, it's flowing. But when you're not there. So I've really, through my, evolution and improvement, found mental health going into two categories, which is proactive and reactive. The proactive being what you touched on, making sure you go to the gym, having, I'm going to ask you to dig into it a little more. And the reactive being, this is happening right now. What do I do? How do I deal? What is my toolkit to deal with, an anxiety attack, depression coming on, any sort of unexpected event that could trigger whatever type of, mental health crisis you're going through, and which is different for everybody. It's very subjective, but at the end of the day, it is a hindrance. So what do you do? What is just some part of your proactiveness?
So my proactiveness to prevent issues is that I go to the gym every day. I always, after I work out, go and shoot basketball for 15 minutes just to bring myself back to like a hobby that I did when I was younger. So I've really been passionate being like, we need to be adults and we need to do things that we liked when we were young. You do hockey.
Yeah.
So everybody should do that. Everybody should have hobbies. I have the self-care app that if I brush my teeth, get out of bed, it gives me points and I can, dress my little penguin up. I have a group of girls that we're accountability to each other. When we're having a rough day, we shoot that text being like, we need to have a better day. And all the positivity comes. If I could say in the moment when if something's getting overwhelming, and it's really hard for me still, but I try things like a grounding exercise. So you can it's called 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's like you sit, you name 5 things that you can see, 4 things that you can touch, just to kind of bring yourself back.
Just a stopgap,
bring
reset.
Yourself back from distraction, bring yourself back in. What else is there? Always box breathing, any kind of just mindful breathing. It sounds so dumb, but going like this and breathing out is super relaxing.
And where do you learn all this stuff?
Where did I learn all this stuff? Where did I learn this stuff? I learned this doing a dialectical behavior therapy group. which is a group of people that
Are we speaking English here?
So DBT is a type of therapy that's good for people with personality disorders or people that have, high intensity, like a couple of the girls are like bipolar. So a lot of the stuff that's in the DBT really is stuff that helps you keep your mind, and like when you're like visibly upset, it gives you ideas of like doing like high intensity workout. Like this is for like you're really intense, but I take a lot of the DBT into my life now, because I have to. It's like it's basic things that people learned when they were growing up on how to calm themselves, and unfortunately, I didn't get those tools, and I'm learning them as an adult. But grounding exercises, mindful breathing. We would do this thing like we started every session with a mindful activity. Okay. So every session we did like, all right, we go, everyone stand up and you stretch. You go around, you pass the stretch. We would do like mindful things where it's like word association. So I say duck, whatever comes to your mind.
It's quack. It's duck, 100% quack, yeah. So or Jeep, perhaps Jeep. Sorry, yeah. Well, ducks and Jeeps.
Ducks and Jeeps.
Yeah, people put ducks on the Jeeps.
Yeah, the ducks and Jeeps. Yeah. But honestly, the DBT, like even though it's not like, for the public, I would say, like people only do it in therapy. I think that everyone should know about it, and CBT, like everything that we're talking about is really psychology.
It is. So I've gone through CBT myself, and that's kind of like where I find myself going back to if I'm in between therapy or different maybe levels of treatment. That's my stopgap, is what I've learned in CBT, which is cognitive behavioral therapy, which is the interconnections between thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. And then mindfulness, I don't know a lot about DBT, but from what you've already said, doing mindfulness exercises is that mindfulness is a tool, or I guess a factor or parameter of both of those that share in common, which is being observant in the moment of what's going on and experiencing, through different sensories, literally what is happening. And that could be any number of ways to do it. I like to do, and this is something I learned outside of the context of therapy, but CBT brought it back in. Stephen Covey's The 7 Habits of Effective People.
Oh, yeah.
One of them is looking outside in. Yeah. So I'm very, as goofy as I act and seem, I'm still very, very logically driven, yet also insanely emotional. So go figure. But I'm very logically driven. And if I create a 5-second stopgap, it allows me to apply what is going on logically. Why is this happening? And
practical acceptance, baby.
Is that what that term is for? Okay, because
check the facts.
Yeah.
Like I fact check all the time. That's like one of the greatest things I learned in DBT was check the facts, because I can make things up. I think I told you everybody hates me, and then I look at the facts. I'm like, oh, actually, people I don't think hate me, but it's going through.
And then it turns out there's 8 billion people on the planet. Not everybody hates you. More people don't hate you than hate you.
Another acceptance on that part is accepting that you're not going to be something for everybody.
Sure.
I have a personality that I think you're going to either love or hate, and I've accepted that about myself. And now I'm accepting that I don't give a shit if anybody vibes with me or not. Yeah. So it took a lot of work. It took a lot of therapy, took a lot of work, but I'm very passionate in letting people know to work on themselves, and you're going to see your business grow. Yeah. It's like apparent to me like how good I feel and where I know I'm going. Yeah.
I do. That's why I want to share it. So that's great. So 2 different schools of thought coming into play here, a little bit about our backgrounds, and both of those methodologies and treatment modalities are certainly not the be-all, end-all. So I'm curious, comment about what you've found, or maybe we can even take it a step further and say, maybe what are you struggling with? And again, we're not professional counselors. Like this is, there are professionals out there that we would love to connect you with, or at least, maybe crowdsource some ideas on which may be the right one for you. That's what I want to get at, is that not every methodology, not every treatment provider is going to be right for you.
No way. I want to say in my life, from like 17 to I'm 34 now, I think I've seen like 13 therapists, but I've seen them twice and then I would never go back until like the next episode. then I would like, oh, get another therapist, go back. Luckily, I found therapists now that are really helpful to me. But that's so true. You do have to find the right person to work with.
Now, do you think that was and some of it literally comes down to vibe, or you in that present state were not working on yourself as much as you are now, and therefore not giving that clinician a chance?
I was really not self-aware for a long time. When I ended up doing the program and stuff, I became super self-aware, and it was great for me because I learned where things were coming from. Like the fear of abandonment, the fear of like not being good enough. When you learn about yourself and where things are coming from, you better understand how to implement your life.
So what do you think may be something more recently that you've learned? Because this is an ongoing process. And every time you, I don't want to say solve, but get past one of those issues or something that's hindering you, then another one can either become prevalent, it can prey upon you, or it was there and now you can address it. So is there something more recently of that type of thinking?
Like more recently that I'm like working on?
Yeah.
Oh, more recently. I think right now I have a good routine going on. I think right now I'm working towards, I feel like I'm still working towards full healing, which I think comes from being vulnerable, which is like the thing that holds me back in therapy. Which I think this is a good step for me to come out of that. I would have never talked about any of this stuff before.
Not in this context. You did
not to the public.
Right. You shared that you have an accountability circle, which is like that's necessary.
My accountability circle are females, women that I did the DBT program with. So we share such a special bond. It is like what these women know about me compared to like my closest friends is insane.
It's a different level.
It's just a different level.
Yeah.
But it's important. And they're not business people either. It's a good idea to hold like an accountability like mindset group.
Hi.
Hi, I'm here.
I'm Jonesy, and I'm your entrepreneurial accountability mindset mental health partner.
Thank you.
But it may take more than two of us.
But what do you do? Like, what's your, besides like hockey, which is something that is pretty mental health, but what's your routine in the morning?
So this is interesting.
Like, how do you, because you're a CEO, you have employees that are under you. So how do you wake up and say, I'm showing up today for every single person that works for me?
So that's the outside looking in paradigm that I apply to it now very recently. My self-care morning routine has actually gone to crap since I became an entrepreneur. I've struggled with weight and like eating all my life because I am a dopamine chaser, and apparently nachos make me feel good when I eat them.
That's so true though. When I'm in a bad mood, I'll go to Taco Bell.
Yeah,
I eat how I feel.
And it's usually the salty foods that get me, not even the sweets.
If I eat how I feel when I don't eat, do I feel nothing? Wow.
That is philosophical.
We'll ponder that.
That's philosophical. Comments, please. Something I struggled with all my life, probably because of self-confidence, that cycle feeding itself. But, I was extremely overweight for a few years in my adulthood. Then I went to the other extreme. I gave up alcohol. I ate chicken breast and broccoli for a few years. I did CrossFit and got to a shredded 160 pounds.
All right.
Then, when I gained some more confidence, I found hockey again. But it is what they call beer league and not salad league. And unlike going to the gym, where I do not drink beers, I do when I'm playing hockey. So
but you're burning all the calories.
I am. It's about, it works itself out. But my habits outside of there have not been great since I started my business because I leaned heavy into the freedom of entrepreneurship, which was fun for a couple of years. It really was. You could do a whole episode based on that, on the freedom of your mindset when you're not working for somebody, rather making the client your boss. Not the boss is your boss. The client's your boss, your coworker's your boss, your employees under you, perhaps they're your boss in a way. Nope, the client is the boss, therefore removing that layer of pressure.
Yeah.
I do everything for my clients 110%. Clients first, employees second. Me, I'm like at the dead bottom now, which, I can suffer for that. But at the same time, I'm in such a better plane of existence compared to employment that it's a different level. So I used to, do the workouts in the morning very religiously, but when I leaned into entrepreneurship, And when hockey's at night. So now I have to get my sleep. I sleep in later sometimes. I like to hang out with the dogs on the couch for my first hour of work, get some emails out, drink my coffee. But knowing that I'm going to get that workout in later. So that's something I'm going to actively work on as the show progresses.
I'm going to challenge you to get back into working out. But you don't have to take it to an extreme. Go for a 15-minute walk.
Yeah.
I have like on my little self-care app, I have a list of things. I have on there that to look in the mirror and tell yourself you can do it.
Some affirmation stuff. Yeah.
Yep. I just want to touch on that. I want to tell this story about my sister real quick because we're touching on affirmations. Because to me, this shows that it works. So my older sister was going through a divorce, and she was having trouble sleeping. She said that she just laid in her bed with her eyes closed until 5 a.m, and then she'd get up and get in the shower and just cry. Mm-hmm. So one morning she got out of the shower and she's ugly crying in the mirror. And she looked at herself and said, "You're a bad bitch." And she started doing it every single day. Mm-hmm. And she said that it helped her. She started working out. My sister looks the best that she's looked. Like, divorce is the greatest thing that ever happened to her. Like, literally, looks the best that she has in forever. Her mindset, she's just, she's got it together. So I want to share the affirmations, if you can do them, even if it's not every day. But know that they work.
It's a tool.
What do you tell your mind?
It's a tool, yeah. And do you know where she pulled that out of? Where to give that a shot?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. I'm going to ask her where she pulled it. But all I know is that I tell people that story all the time because I think it's like very powerful. Mm-hmm. She's not a social media person. She's not out there telling people she's doing this. She's not like texting friends like, I'm doing affirmations. Like, she made that decision based on the way she saw herself. I think that's great.
That's a tool to be deployed as the reactive.
Yes.
You proactively learn it and then reactively deploy it.
Yes. Mindset is always going to be, I think, everybody's biggest challenge in their life. Your mind is so interesting. But I do believe if you tell your mind something or you tell yourself it's going to be okay, it is going to be okay. I mean, it took me a little bit to believe that, but then I'm a total black and white thinker. Well, right. I'm learning to be gray. But
because that's what most things in life are. They are not black and white. They are not the extreme.
Yes, I'm learning to be gray, but I was completely black and white. So even in business, when you have black and white thinking, it's like something's going wrong in a transaction. I should never be a realtor again. I can't do this. Like, you can't do that in the business that we are. You can't quit. You have to show up. You have to smile. You have to pretend like nothing's going on. And I feel like for me, when I was melting down and I wasn't like silent, I wasn't saying anything, I think that's when a lot of shame was starting to come in for me. Like, I had a big shame feed happening for a while. Okay. You ever deal with any shame?
Constantly. Yeah. That's one of the ones that creeps up on me.
Well, let me ask you this. So you're probably, you're the main decision maker of the
business. Yeah.
So how do you think your mindset affects the way that you make decisions? Like, if you can think, not to put you on the spot, if you can think of a time where you were in a great mindset, you made an amazing decision compared to a time you thought you were in an awful mindset and you made a decision that didn't work out.
That's very interesting. So let me
ponder it.
Yeah.
I know it's an on the spot question.
Well, I'm very, very, very reactive, and this is where part of my circle of support is actually my wife, who not only is she my wife, she has a background in studying this. She has a master's in counseling psychology. So it's a bit of a cheat code. I know. No, she's not a counselor by profession. She runs a business that's totally not related to it.
So you should be the healthiest dude ever.
You'd think. It's like a cobbler's shoes type of situation.
Side note, we both talked about what our spouses want to come on and talk about how they deal with crazy people. I feel like Joe would not be about it at all.
So I know Bree is not, even though she has a very specific set of dealing with people, both clients, customers, vendors within the business. She runs a business, so she is going through this as well. But you don't want to do what you don't want to do, and I'm of course going to respect that. What was I tying this back into?
So I was
about the time where my mindset dictated.
Do you feel like your mindset ever dictated either a really amazing decision or a really bad decision?
Yeah. So I'm very reactive, completely reactive. I guess a lot of it has to do with like just protecting my psyche and ego in any situation. And, I watch and observe what Bree does, what my wife does when she is faced with that sort of thing. And she acts very rationally and objectively about it, even if that means taking a minute before making a decision. But then it just goes back to the paradigm of being there for other people first, which then becomes my mission. Of course, that means work on the back end has to be done. Pulling down my oxygen mask before I give it to anybody else. So I'm not detrimented, but it's usually, like maybe a client's not a good fit. And my first reaction is fire them. I mean, listen, my other podcast is called Fire Your Boss. And we apply that to firing clients who are not a good fit. But there is a tactful and untactful way to do it. I've done it untactfully before because I was in that very reactive mode, which now looking 5 minutes later, I'm like, you idiot. There was a way to do this better.
Yeah, I feel like that's a theme for me, is not to be reactive. So sometimes I have to tone down my passive aggressiveness, because I'm like you. Like someone's like, if I have a client that's like driving me nuts, I'm like, I don't think I can work with this person.
Yeah.
I'll tell Joe, I'm like, I cannot do it anymore. He's like, yeah, you can. I'm like, yeah, I can.
And then it allows you to create, I don't even want to say boundaries, and this is probably another topic, systems instead of boundaries, perchance. And creating those systems to start with then allows your interactions to fit within that context and have a way out, or not letting somebody or something in before it becomes a boundary issue.
I have total boundary issues.
Yeah. So that's what...
People text me from the morning to like all night. There's no boundary. And
that's what I'm literally have started and recently overcome, is that by creating systems that replace boundaries and putting parameters on that.
My boundaries.
Well, we're gonna work on that. There's gonna be systems. So this was our first episode, and we really don't know where it ended as far as the recording is concerned. That's fine. We're gonna get it all figured out.
And I also spill coffee on my boobs. So.
It's true. We're rolling with it. So what may have not made it on was we're gonna be at mindhour.com, Spotify, Apple Music, Prime, everywhere you can find podcasts, but just mindhour.com is the easiest one to remember. Like and subscribe, and drop the one word that describes how you're feeling right now. How are you feeling?
I am feeling excited.
And I'm optimistic. So with that, we'll see you next time.
Yes.